So I'm back after about 3.5 days. 5 o'clock now. So 72 plus 80 hours is all I was at the hospital, pretty much. Which is probably the shortest about that someone could humanly be back, heal this rate, because I didn't have any complications. I did feel at times that they were rushing me through, but I was glad to get my various hoses pulled out of me. So I woke up in the ICU, a big room with only one other patient in there, and one or two nurses. I think one nurse for each of us. And they transferred me the next day to a different ICU with 4 patients in there. I could have sworn it was 6, but people told me it was 4. And just like 2 nurses for those. That was probably that was the worst accommodations I'd had in there so far. But so during those 2 days I didn't really get up at all. I might have stood up for a few seconds, but that's about it. I basically just laid down, and I was fine with it. I didn't do very much in the hospital at all. I didn't really feel like doing much. I just kind of felt like letting the time pass. Then after that, they transferred me to a different unit, the cardiac care unit, and they gave me a private room. And I was there for the next day and a half. And that was a pretty big room, too. It was built for 2 people, but arranged for 1. And it was nice because I was able to sleep more. And I could still call the nurse whenever I needed him or her. It changed every like 8 to 12 hours. And I did need the nurse a lot, basically, anytime I wanted to get out of bed, until the very last night when I got in and out of bed frequently by myself. I was basically bound to around the bed until yesterday when they took me, when they took my drainage tube out, which was kind of very sudden, actually. It looked like it was still draining out blood, but they said the output's very low, so they just took it out in the morning. And so, as they said, they released me about a day later, discharged. They gave me the option of staying there another day, but they said that it would be easier to manage my pain and stuff at home. And I think it's better to be home. Get away from all the stuff attached to me. Got the final IV out. It was not very hard having all the stuff taken out. Probably the hardest thing to come out was the catheter, the urinary catheter. And that wasn't even pain exactly. Just a strong burning. Everybody says that having heart surgery feels like getting hit by a truck. Now maybe if I had gotten hit by a truck, I would think the analogy was better, but to me, I would describe it more that it feels like having a very bad case of the flu, except that you don't get all the congestion. I didn't really have a fever or a cough, but I did have a low-grade fever for a while. They said that if I didn't use the breathing apparatus regularly, my temperature would go up and I would start to develop pneumonia. Not much to see with my scar right now because it's just all covered. Basically, my pain is deep inside my chest. And, open heart surgeries, it makes you a very prototypical hospital patient. I just kind of walk around very slowly, do things very slowly. I just feel crappy all over. Sometimes I feel very intensely crappy. I wouldn't even describe it as pain, but painkillers seem to help. Just kind of achy all over, fatigued, nauseated, but not completely lacking in appetite. Right now I have this weird gastrointestinal thing where it's like I feel very hungry, but my stomach hurts, and it's like bubbling, and I don't know exactly what's going on. I mentioned it to them, and they thought maybe it was just hunger. I can do most things, just with difficulty. The most noticeable thing at the start was it's harder to breathe. You kind of hit a wall. And they say you have to make sure to keep breathing, doing these exercises every hour, at least that you're awake. And you can tell because when you go to sleep, you get up, sometimes you feel fevered and nauseated, sometimes your back hurts. But it also causes you to have less of an ability to breathe. So I need to keep up with that. Can't take a normal shower until next Tuesday. You may notice my hair is greased black because of that. Oh. Yay, out of the hospital. I almost feel like I should still be there, and I really didn't mind it, oddly. They were actually very nice there, much nicer than the experiences I had had before. All the nurses were very nice and seemed, even after 12-hour shifts sometimes, to legitimately desire to help me. And they gave me good accommodations. The food was even pretty good, and I was able to eat more healthily there than I can here too. So overall, it really wasn't a bad experience. Just kind of struggling through feeling intensely crappy. And that's about it.